Hello boys and girls, I am not quite happy with the way this SOG Switchplier 2.0 is performing out of the box. So it's a little gritty, it feels like it's snagging onto something. Like this is a discontinued model, and basically my prediction is what happened is it was just sitting on the shelf, and that oil that was originally put there by the manufacturer, it got dried up and now it needs service, even though it's completely new. I just pulled it out of the box well, a couple days ago. And what I really want to do is I want to take it apart, I want to see what's inside, and I want to like clean it, lube it, and maybe return it to its like former glory days. So right now it opened really well, but like there's no like snap or click or anything like that. You know, it just kind of opens just enough, you know, which is fine. There's no problems with functionality, but I'm hoping that that's not exactly how it was designed. So I can see how it can be taken apart. Hopefully I'm not making a huge mistake where you know, I'm just gonna destroy my tool. I see that there are some Allen key places where you need Allen key, and so let's take it apart. Let's see what's going on here. Obviously I'm not any kind of expert, but that's the point. That's too big. 5/64 that one was. You need this one. Okay, it's not 1/16 either. It might be metric because this one was made in Taiwan. All right, let's keep digging, Watson. All right, let's try 1.5 millimeter. 1.5 millimeter. That's pretty small. I sure hope it's not like a Torx and I'm just not seeing it. This one is definitely Allen key over here. Let me try a Torx really quick. Good thing I have my Torx ready. Let's do T6. T6. Ah, we have a hit. We have a hit. It's a T6 Torx. All right. Well, thanks. Thanks for making it a little bit more complicated than it needs to be, but let's get into it. All right, so it works very well. We started disassembling it. I'm not sure what I just did, but I took out these Torx, and so far I don't need any of the Allen keys. So if you have your Benchmade Torx set or your regular T6 thing that you use, you should be fine. Then this, I don't know, did something happen after I, not sure what I've done. Okay, so here comes my lack of expertise. I don't think I need to do anything on this side because this is just the like the extra tools, the multi-tool part of things. I think I'm gonna need, actually I'm gonna need Allen key for that middle thing. Let's see which one would that be. Let's do 2 millimeter. It is. It's a 2 millimeter Allen key. But it's not. Oops. I have this like biggest fear that I'm just gonna break this tool right now. I'm not prepared to deal with this. It might be more complicated than I was hoping for, but we'll see. Okay, so I did, something is turning as I'm doing this. It's a 2 millimeter Allen key for sure. It's very snug in there, and I can turn it like a little bit left and right, left and right, left and right. Not sure what is actually happening because it only moves a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, and then it gets stuck. Not sure what all that actually means. What if I put the T6 back in? If I can, if the tool is not completely destroyed by now. All right, I'm gonna put the T6 back in because that might help me to undo the central pivot screw, the 2mm Allen key. All right, so T6 goes back in. All right, it's in. All right, now we want to see what I can do. Okay, oh no. Again, it goes left and right a little bit, but then it stops. I'm not sure what that means. Obviously, I don't want to break anything. There's no tutorials online for this thing, unfortunately. No one's gonna help me with this. I don't see any other screws. Or do I? So just the T6 and the central pivot of 2mm. Oh, what if I close it completely? Because it's a Switchplier. What do we see right now? Again, nothing. It does give way a little bit to the left and to the right. It goes in between two positions, but then it doesn't go anywhere from there. All right, I'm gonna put you guys on pause and figure it out. All right, you guys, so I do have some progress. So I closed the plier, right? And I took out the T6 screw, right? And I was able to start turning this, right? At this point, I can take out the pocket clip. It's completely covered in oils, right? So, and the oil kind of feels, I don't know, like viscous, you know, like it's drying up. So this is what you're left with. It's a pretty big washer of sorts. There's a couple things here. I'm deathly afraid at this point because I don't exactly understand how all this works. And there is some tensioning. If I open the plier right now, right, it doesn't open all the way up. So the tension is gone somewhat. And I'm not sure, is that because I'm turning the pivot or what else is going on? This thing, yeah, it's completely, I mean, it still works as a plier, but I feel like the tension is not there anymore. Okay, so I'm just gonna continue taking this screw out. At this point, it just freely just opens up like so, and it's out. You can see some rust. Of course, that you never want to see that, but there it is. Obviously, you know, it's a discontinued tool, so it's been sitting somewhere in a shelf for a long time. We can clean all that. That's no problem. Basically, what we have is it's a double thing. It's a washer slash something else. I want to take it apart, possibly with a knife. If you see, it's two things, but they're completely stuck together. I mean, if they're two separate things, they're not supposed to be stuck like this, right? So I'm gonna take it apart off camera. I got it unstuck. It actually took considerable effort. I couldn't do it with the this small screwdriver. I had to use the edge of my knife. So it got unstuck. It was covered in oil on both sides, but that oil got super greedy. There is some rust over here as well. So all that needs to be clean. So this tells me that, you know, we are on the right track. It's a good thing that I decided to take it apart, because obviously none of this should be happening ideally. you know, but of course, you know, it happens. It's not nothing to worry about. Over here, I can see that I think that's a that has to be obviously you see rust, but that has to be part of the spring sticking out. So at this juncture, I should be very careful, but I'm just gonna continue on with the process and kind of try to take it out. Not sure exactly what I'm doing, but all I know is this tool needs help. It's not healthy 100%. It's already very clear, very clear. So my initial concern was that maybe, you know, it's just designed poorly and it's working as intended and maybe I shouldn't bother, but I can see that that's not the case. This tool can perform much better after the service is received and complete. I just don't know how to get into it. All right, let's get my trusty blade in there. It helped me once. Oh, it's out. All right, so, and yes, okay, pay attention, guys, because this is the piece of the spring that's sticking out. It was much higher. So it was like this. You put the spring inside this opening, right? You put the spring in there, right? And then you wind it up. You wind it up all the way, and then you put the T6 where it aligns with this, and that's what gives the spring tension. I think that's pretty clever, right? That's cool. I like this. I like this. So far, I like it. Nice. All right, so this thing is rusty as hell, and it needs service as well. So we are just, it's a bunch of problems here, but it looks like we're on the right track. So at this point, I can see that I can take this complete pivot out, and that's going to be a crap storm of problems at that point, which is just putting it back together. That's what I'm afraid of. But that's where we are, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take it out. I'm just pushing it out with my hands, the pivot. This thing is rusty, guys. It is rusty. And so far, the only thing that was helping me is this S30V blade by Benchmade. I think, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna tap it. I'm gonna tap it with this, and that works beautifully. Look, the pivot is out. Now I'm gonna use this screwdriver just to lift it, okay? So, and it's lifting, it's working. I can feel it. I can feel it, guys. It's coming apart. The pivot, let me just see how it goes so I don't forget. You guys will remind me, right, if I do something wrong in the comments. All right, so pivot is out. It's completely covered in oil, but this oil is very viscous. It's very, it's like it's drying up. It's not very fluid. You know, it's got that viscosity. All right, so I can see the end of the spring sticking out still. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pull it out. Okay. Oh, I don't know what's going on. All right. It looks there's you see there's that thing of the pliers. It's going within that groove, like so. You see that thing? It's sticking out like so over here, and it goes in within that groove. It's hidden inside like that, so you cannot see it. But when you're putting it back together, make sure this thing goes in that groove. I guess that's my recommendation. I should be able to pull out the plier head. Or should I? Oh, maybe I shouldn't, because the spring is still in it somehow. So the spring, oh my God, I think it's gonna be difficult, but you know, we're not looking for easy ways, right, guys? We're not looking for easy ways. Otherwise, I would just let it be greedy and bothering me. But no, I want to fix this. All right, so my guess, this spring needs to be pushed down and the whole thing will come out. So I need to push this spring down. I'm gonna do this off camera, okay? Actually, I decided to go the other way. So this spring is still in here, and I see the other end of the spring is sticking out from this plier over here. So I'm just gonna pop it out like so. So remember, when you put it back in, you're just gonna have to put it back in here, right? Like just stick it in here. Like so, right? So I just popped it with a small screwdriver. So now this plier head is not being held by anything except for this groove thing that's holding it. But you know, that can be muscled out. Oh, I see some washers. And as of right now, I am... Okay, I see bronze washers. At least one. If it's only one, again, we're in trouble because I'm not gonna... Well, I'm gonna try to remember where it goes, but one is definitely there. But there might be more. All right, I really want to pull this plier head out at this point. I feel like it should let me, but it's not letting me yet. And I'm just gonna muscle it, to be honest. I feel like it should be coming out right now. All right, I'll do it off camera. All right, I have some progress. I did have to pop that spring out here, and I did have to push this one from this hole. So both of those things have to be done, right? Otherwise, it's not gonna come out. Everything is very dirty, rusty, gritty. The oil is there, but there's all kinds of like problems that I see with this thing dragging. I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna put this back in, but you know, you gotta have faith, as they say, right? So let's kind of like just remember. So this goes in like this, right? This spring will go in here, from here and here, in this slot over here, semicircle slot. All right. So at this point, somehow, still, you know, we're not free out of the woods because this plier head is not coming out freely. And of course, there's a spring there, so, you know, that's, I mean, there's another slot for this spring, and I'm confident if I push that little piece of spring out of that slot, it will, at that point, come out. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do it off camera to save you guys some nerves. Okay, so the way to pull this head out is you have to like physically kind of like widen this thing, right? You have to like just widen it with your fingers, and this thing will come out. So this is what it looks like. I want to show you this plier head. It's got double spring. This spring does nothing except for just opening this plier head, just opening this teeth, right? It just goes around like this. It's just a piece of wire that goes around like this and puts tension on the plier head, okay? That's all it does. There's another spring over here on this side, and this is the one that shoots the plier head out of the handle, right? So it's two springs working together. One shoots the plier head out, and one opens the mouth of the plier head, right? Here's how it works. You have that thing that sticks out, right, on this spring. You have the washer that goes around the spring. It looks kind of like this. All right. That just goes around it like that. And then the spring itself, at this point, if you take it out, you can see there's a groove over there. And the spring has a piece sticking out, and that goes into that groove right in there, right? So it goes in there, and then this thing, the washer of sorts, goes around it, makes it all go smooth. And that's the essence of the whole thing. That's it. I'm done disassembling. There's nothing else. So if the plier head could be disassembled, then that's the only thing that I could further do, but it cannot. So at this point, this thing is fully disassembled. So I have just, again, only one washer, bronze washer. What's up with that? I don't know. Well, I guess this spring doesn't need its own washer. Whatever. And then, yeah, so it's not a lot of parts. It's this, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then the handle, 9, and the pocket clip, 10, right? So when you get down to it, it's okay. It's not super complicated and cumbersome design. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to deep cleaning town. Whenever you guys have any kind of rust on your multi-tools or knives, it's always the same recipe how to deal with that. Get your WD-40, get your steel wool. I have 000. You can, definitely next time I'm getting 00. It's gonna be even more coarse. I like coarse because it goes quicker. And you know, you just spray a little bit on those parts and you wipe it with steel wool. It does wonders. So before you do any WD-40 spraying, you know, it's good to just wipe everything. So I'm just gonna wipe from the excess things. All this oil, I don't need anymore. This is old oil. I'm gonna use the new one from here on out. So I need to wipe this completely clean. Then I need to spray WD-40 and just do some grinding with the steel wool. And then after everything is super clean and no rust anywhere, that's when I can start putting it back together. But also I'm gonna be using some lube, some oil. All right, so I wiped them all from excess grime. And I just sprayed a bunch of WD-40 on this. WD-40 is like a godsend because it's not a very good lubricant, but it's really amazing cleaner. As far as cleaning goes, there's nothing like WD-40. It will clean oil and grime and everything off of there. I'm gonna let it soak for like 20 seconds, and then it's time for some steel wooling. All right, some of this oil is so old and dense that steel wool is not doing it. I'm stepping it up to some of this copper wool. It's just coarser, and you know, it's just gonna help me do this a little quicker, hopefully, or just period. Yeah, oh yeah, it's doing it. It's doing it. So you can see that is coming off. It was all covered in this, but now it's less of that. All right, so just make sure you have everything. Eventually it should look like nothing on it except for the clean white metal. That's when you know you are doing something right. Steel wool will be fine for most of this. On this yellow washer, bronze washer, I cannot quite see if it's dirty or not. I just want to scrape it a little bit with a knife to see the yeah, it might be a little dirty there. Okay, it's being scraped off, so that works. A pro tip of the week: if you guys are into shooting revolvers, you know that after you shoot a revolver, you have this black powder deposition on the end of your cylinder if you have a stainless color cylinder. So, and no matter how hard you clean, you cannot get rid of that black powder deposits. But if you just use some of this copper wool, it's very safe for your steel cylinders and titanium cylinders, and you can just go to work and it gets rid of those smoke vapor depositions really quickly. Yeah, try it next time. You will thank me later. All right, so how are we doing? I still need to clean some of these parts. I'm gonna put you guys on hold. At this point, all the parts are cleaned and dried. I would say they're ready for putting it back together. You might be asking myself, do I remember how to put it together? The answer is absolutely not. No freaking clue, but you know, I just disassembled it, so while it's still fresh in my mind, we can figure it out. I think so. A little bit nervous, but I know everything is gonna be okay. All right, so here's the handle part. I did not disassemble the multi-tool cluster. I just leave it like that. There's nothing wrong with it. It's working fine. But you know, this pivot mechanism was not working fine. So I wasn't sure if that would be the case. Maybe if I opened it, it would be just fine, and that was just the design of SOG. But no, it had a lot of grime, a lot of rust, a lot of oil that got old and gritty. Okay, so let's just start. Hold on, where's my plier head? Hold on, I have to find, oh, it's right there. Whew. Eventually I did take this spring out of the plier head just because I wanted to clean it really thoroughly inside there, and for some reason there's still something that I see, even though I cleaned it twice already. So obviously, you know, everything, you know, time takes its toll. Things get gritty, things get dirty, things get rusty. Every kind of steel will rust eventually. But, you know, as long as we are unafraid of getting into it and kind of seeing if we can help the situation, there's nothing we can't do. There's your speech of the day. All right, so there's the plier head, right? So let's just go by what we know. Let's go piece by piece. This is the spring, right? Very nice spring. Okay. Do I need to do something with the spring? I need to oil it. Do you guys know the answer? Should I oil it? I'll oil it a little bit. Let me grab my oil. Here's some oil. I'm just gonna, I don't know what's wrong, but this spring feels kind of sticky, you know? I don't know if that's the design. You can even feel it as you pull it apart. It's like a Velcro effect. I don't know. As you guys know, I'm way in over my head with all this, but you know, I like figuring things out. Figuring things out is what I like to do. And you know, I'm just gonna oil this. This oil is gonna help the situation, right? Okay. And it's not helping, but I mean, it's still it feels like Velcro effect, you know. You pull it out, but you know, maybe that's how it should be. We don't know. All right, so first things first, we're gonna put that piece of the spring that sticks out in the inside of this plier head, like so. Okay, right, that's very easy. Then next thing, where is it? That's never something you want to see or not see. Sorry, I was looking right at it and I did not realize that it's right there. Thought maybe I lost it. So this is like some kind of washer that goes around the spring. It goes in like so, right? So, okay. At this point, you should be able to put the I think, okay, let me just, so this goes like that, like so. So it should go like this into this white handle part, and this piece of spring that's sticking out should go into this slot over here, this little slot. This is going to be the hardest part of the whole installation, right? So I'm going to try to do it on camera if I cannot do it quickly. Okay, it appears I did it. Okay, it's done. Weird, but it feels like, is it done? Might be done. I'm done. D-U-N. Okay, so yeah, I think that's good enough, hopefully, I don't know. All right, so next thing is this bronze washer. I believe it goes over here. And don't quote me on that. Okay. Then you put it inside. What am I doing? Yeah, you put it inside like so. Am I? I think. You guys are probably like screaming over there. No! Oh, hold on. You need to make sure that these things are within this bigger slot over here. Both of these, right? So on both sides, make sure, I mean, that's easy. That's nothing to it. All right, so just make sure that these things are like so in here on either side. Okay. And then the washer. Yeah, let's do the washer. I'm hoping that it's not on the outside, I don't think. I think it was on the inside, like so. Like on the inside of there. All right, and then I'm gonna install the main pivot. Oh, hold on. You're not done, because this thing is still sticking out, right? And it has to be within that slot. You see this spring, it's sticking out. It has to be within this slot. So you actually have to do this next. This is very important. This is the hardest part, just that spring. And the way it's done, you can push it down over here. You can push it down and then just navigate to where it's gonna pop out again. So push it down over here on this side. I may need to use my, I'm such an expert, but it's the first time I'm doing this, so. Like, I'm thinking there might be an easier way for all of this. But anyway, you just push that spring down and then you just blindly navigate till it pops out like this. It just popped out on the other side. I don't know if it's correctly popped out, but at this point, I don't think that's gonna be super important. And now I'm kind of not sure about this. I'm not sure about this. So that goes in there under the white thing, right? So I'm just gonna muscle it in there and then push it with the I'm gonna push it with the screwdriver till I see it on the other side. And I see it, you see? Yeah, so we're almost done, guys. This is, at this point, you can see it's already resembling the tool. At this point, it's just the pivot. Goes in, these three things and that, and fingers crossed it's working. And my battery is dying, so maybe you will not see the end of this. But I will just continue on as long as the battery permits. Once again, you just muscle that thing in there. Use your screwdrivers to help you kind of make sure you have this the clear vision of the hole, and it will go in. It just went in. Guys, if I can do it, you can do it. Trust me on this one. I'm not the best at any of this. Okay, and then so I can see it, the pivot on this side. Everything kind of falls into place all of a sudden. Everything feels a little in place, but the pivot is not going all the way through, so you just continue muscling it in until it does go through. Maybe you need to do something with the plier head, but just keep applying pressure to this side of the pivot until something happens, until it clicks on the other side. I might have to do it off camera. All right, couple of things happened. First thing, my battery died on my phone, so I since charged the phone, and this pivot, it went completely in. That's what you want. It has to be sticking just slightly out on this side, because next step, and this is where it gets like really beautiful, here's what you want. You want this end of this little like a washer of sorts. Basically there's this you see there are two holes. One of these holes has to catch that this end of this spring that's sticking out. I don't know how easy or difficult it's going to be, but you know, just, and then it goes like, oh, hold on, it's the other way. Yeah, it's the other way because you want to then, okay, make sure it's like this, okay? Because then you're going to wind it, right? Like so. You're going to wind it all the way up, and then you're going to put that T6 screw that we have, and it's going to hold it in a wound up position, right? So that's what you want. Right, so I believe this is going to be a little technical, hopefully not too bad. All right, so how do I do this? If I close it, is it easier? No, it's more difficult. Oh, no, it's... Yeah, it's definitely more difficult if you close it, so keep it open. And you have to like wind it up and then put that T6 screw in here and secure it in place. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do this. It's a little difficult right now. How can I do this? So you understand what I'm doing, right? This end of this spring inside is caught within this hole. So now this hole has to come all the way around to here, and I have to put a screw through here to keep it like wound up, right? So I just have to apply some pressure, wind it up all the way to this hole from here to there, and then put the screw, this little tiny T6 screw, through that whole thing. So that's the challenge. I'm gonna do this off camera, guys, because I feel like it's gonna take a minute. All right, it was pretty easy to do as long as no one's watching. So this, oh, okay. So let's see where we at. I'm gonna put the spring back in. So right now the pliers work. They work better than they used to. Will it open? It does open. So we have a couple more things left. I think that's last part. So you have this washer which kind of goes on top of that. That just to cover for that for that sticking out. You see how it's got a cutout on this washer, and that cutout goes into that where the end of the spring is coming out, and then you have to put the pivot screw back on top. While you're doing all that, you have to make sure that the clip is on there already. I'm not sure exactly, because it came out before I was even... Okay, yeah, it just goes in flatly. Just flatly, it goes on top. All these cutouts are kind of made for this pocket clip, so that's no problem. Then you put this thing around so that it the cutout is where the spring is sticking out, right? And last but not least, you put this pivot. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get some thread locker. I think that's a good idea. The thread locker is inside, and last thing, I'm gonna get this pivot in there. This is a little bit of an exercise because you kind of have to do it all at the same time, I feel. Like this thing and this thing. And you kind of have to, everything goes in together. Otherwise you won't have room to install the pivot at the end. Ooh, okay. So that's where you kind of like playing with this. You're trying to get it in. So you see what I'm doing? So like the pocket clip, the pivot screw, and that washer, they all kind of have to go in at the same time. Otherwise you won't have room for everything. Okay, so now I got that thing on. That's part of it. Is the pivot gonna start going in? Okay, it is starting to go in. Okay, and now last thing, I have to make sure that where that washer opening is, it's gonna be where that end of that spring is sticking out. That's gonna be the last of it for me. So that's kind of like the gymnastics I'm doing. So you have to like do 3 things at once. You see, you have to make sure that the pocket clip just goes flat on top. Once it goes flat on top, it's really on there. Like it's not gonna go left to right, it's really on there. Then the next part is to make sure that that cutout in that washer, that it's aligned with that spring. And now it is, I think. Is it? Let's get it aligned. So this is a little bit difficult. Okay, you guys can see. I'm just getting it aligned in here. So far unsuccessfully. Okay. This is where you need steady hands. Okay, it's aligned right now, but I'm afraid if I'm gonna start turning the pivot in, it will get out of alignment. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. Okay, so, and you just have to keep aligning it as you're turning the pivot. Let's get the pokey thing in there. All right, I'll do it off camera. It's a little easier when you guys are not watching. Alrighty guys, it's put together. I put it together, and I put it together good. It's as intended. For what it's worth, it wasn't as difficult as I thought it was going to be. There are a couple tricks to this, but you know, nothing too crazy. If you've seen the process, you can agree. There's about like 10 parts to this. They go only one way, you know, and you know, if you take it apart and you put it back together right away, you know, it should be no problem whatsoever. It's working a little better right now. And I want to say a lot better. I think it's working as good as it would ever work. It opens up all the way every time. Like right now, like every time I don't have to push it out. Like it just, every time it's fully open, right? And you just go to work. There's no grittiness as much. Like can you hear anything? No, it's just oil and metal parts, you know, nothing like super gritty. And you know, it closes a little easier, it opens a little easier. We dealt with the rust that was inside. It's not there anymore, which is good for overall health. And I think every tool needs like service like this every once in a while. Alrighty guys, hopefully this video is going to be helpful to somebody. Thanks for watching.